Shabbos Shira. It's the Shabbos of Song. It's the Shabbos where we speak about the Song of the Sea, where Moshe sings his great song, Miriam sings her great song. And the whole Shabbos takes on that character of Shabbos Shira, of a Shabbos of Song. What are we meant to get out of that notion that this is the Shabbos of Song? Every Shabbos is a Shabbos of Song. You know, the Torah tells us that when the Jews crossed through the sea and they made it through to the other side, the Torah says that Moshe Rabbeinu stretched out his hand over the sea, and towards the morning, the water went back to its power as the Egyptians were fleeing towards it. Rashi explains that they got confused and they were running towards the water. Even as it was coming crashing down, the Egyptians were coming in and they were falling into the water. It's hard to imagine that seasoned soldiers like the Egyptians would have fallen into the water, that they would have run towards the water. When somebody is trying to hurt you, you don't run towards them, you run away from them. Why would they have become so confused and run towards the water? They're human beings, after all. Human beings want to preserve themselves. Human beings value life. Why wouldn't they have just turned around and ran away and realized that this was a dangerous place to be? And why would God have done that to them? Why would God have confused them? We know that Mitzrayim, Egypt, was really all about living in the present. The Mitzrayim was all about the now. They were only focused on what they were going through, focused on now. There was no vision towards the future. There was no look towards what was going to be. Where are their lives going to go? What's the plan for the country? This is the reason why Yosef had to give them that advice and tell them, store away the grain for later. Because they couldn't think that way. They weren't wired that way. Their entire lives were thinking about the past. Their entire lives were thinking about the present. They couldn't fathom the future. Look at Paro's name. Our sages point out that if you take Paro's name and you look at it backwards, which is looking backwards, it means oref, paroi, ha'oref. It's the back of the neck. Because they were always looking backwards. They were always looking at what the past held, but not looking at what the future held. They had no plan. They had no future. They had no idea, no goals, no idea of where they needed to be. That's why Paro never let go during the plagues. He lived in the present. And as soon as the plague was taken away, he was back to a safe present. There was no reason for him to let them go. There was nothing compelling to say, you know what? Now it's time to let go. Because there was no future. It was only now. It was only the present. That's why Moshe said to Paro that let the Jews go derech shleishes yomim. Derech shleishes yomim. That we have a plan. There is a plan, there's a procedure, there's a future, there's a thought to where we want to be, and therefore there's a thought of how we want to get there. God had a plan for the Jews. He didn't take them the short way. He took them the long way because he knew that in that way they would be able to grow. They would have the 49 days that they needed to get to Mount Sinai. They would be able to lift themselves up from the mire that they were inside of Mitzrayim. Living inside of a place that there was no plan. God had to build for them a plan. That's why he gave them the commandment of Rosh Chodesh in last week's Parsha, because he had to give them a structure. He had to give them a plan. He gave them mitzvos before they left. He gave them instructions. There was a plan for their existence. They were going to travel a certain amount of days until they got to Mount Sinai and to be able to get the Torah, because they needed to have a plan. Because that's the difference between the Jews and the Egyptians. The Egyptians had no plan. They had only a present. The Jews had a plan. They knew where they were going. All they knew is that they wanted to destroy the Jewish people. But there was no real plan how to carry that out. What's the name of this Shabbos? The name of this Shabbos is Shabbos Shira, the Shabbos of Song. To sing a song effectively, you need to know where the notes are going. Where's the next note? Where's the next note? Where's it going to lead me? Where's the high part? Where's the low part? There needs to be a plan. There needs to be a map. the redemption of the Jewish people, the redemption of every individual, growth in life is only successful if there's a plan. Moshe Rabbeinu takes the Jewish people out of Mitzrayim, crosses the sea, and he saw and he realized there is a plan. And the minute that he recognized there's a plan, then a song welled up inside of him and just emerged. Because a song is a reflection and a recognition that there is a plan. When the world sings a song, when we say, Az Yurananu Atzei Ayar, that the trees of the forest sing a song, it means that they are working according to plan. When nature sings a song to God, it means it's working according to a plan. Because to be successful in life, to have a redemption, to have a people, to have a successful existence, there needs to be a plan. Moshe recognized his, the Jewish people recognized theirs, and on this Shabbos of Shira, each and every one of us needs to take a moment and think about what's our plan. Where are we going?